The best Christmas present ever. Part 1. It was breakfast time in late November when Lynn found herself at war with a jar of strawberry jam. Her arthritic fingers throbbed as she twisted and tapped, the stubborn lid refusing to yield. She cursed softly under her breath, a small but telling reminder of how age had stolen so many little independences she once took for granted. Saturdays had long since ceased to have any special meaning for Lynn, but today was different. Today was market day at the corner. The kitchen, once alive with chatter and clatter, now felt too still. She would gladly give up the tidiness of single living, a place for everything and everything in its place, for the messy chaos of yesteryear. Over time, the echoes of family voices had faded into silence, and with them, a piece of her spirit. She allowed herself, just for a moment, the bitterness of knowing how very alone she was. Over coffee, her thoughts strayed, as they always did on this date. It was Emily's birthday. 62 years had passed since the nuns prized their baby from her arms in the Magdalene Home for Fallen Women. She could still smell the starch of their habits, still hear and feel the finality of having her baby taken from her as the door closed. A young girl barely able to comprehend the world around her. Scared and ashamed, she had surrendered to authority. Her hands trembled as she remembered how powerless she felt then, and realized how helpless and angry she feels now. Lynn had looked after Emily for just 4 weeks, at the end of which papers were signed, and the cruel act of separation was complete. Such a short time, but enough to create a lifelong bond. She wasn't allowed to take anything, not even a photograph. At the time and over the years, she had forced herself to remember what Emily looked like and how it felt to be a mother of one so dependent on her. Life passed, but every year the grief returned, unwelcome, raw, and unshackled. To push away the heaviness, Lynn clung to the bright promise of the evening ahead. The Christmas market at the corner. She loved every market, the bustle and brightness, the excuse to meet neighbours and share in a little borrowed cheer. Folks young and old will gather in community, catch up, tell tales and gossip about life in the Vale. She'd wear her good coat, her favourite scarf, and the winter hat that her late husband had bought her as a joke gift one Christmas. As twilight fell, she set out, her warm breath clouding in the frosty air. Turning onto Main Street, she felt the town's pulse quicken. Laughter, chatter, and the brassy lift of carols drifting towards her. The band gleamed in their polished uniforms, tinsel tucked into instrument bells as they filled the night with the first Noel. Stalls circled the great canopy in a riot of colour, twinkle lights, bejewelled reindeer, jolly ho-ho-hos, mistletoe and candy-decorated trees. From his mural high above, the usually serious face of Sir Alexander Fleming seemed to smile down upon it all, his painted gaze full of approval. Lynn paused, drinking it in. At Christmas, the corner was the closest thing the Vale had to magic. She loved the fairy lights and holly garlands, the mingled scents of mulled wine and hot chocolate, voices weaving together in a warm tapestry of community. Wandering between the stalls, Lynn let herself drift through the crowd. Families jostled with prams, children tugged at sleeves, dogs sniffed excitedly at dropped crumbs. Familiar faces passed in a blur of nods and quick hellos. She paused to listen to the band again, smiling at the sight of young players puffing earnestly into their brass instruments, their cheeks pink in the cold, their hands covered in fingerless gloves. The queue for Dexter's stretched past the reindeer display, hungry customers stamping their feet on the frosty stones, their collective breath clouding upwards into the night. Lynn decided instead on hot chocolate, thick and sweet. though she lingered a moment by the corner bar, taking in the smells of warm glühwein and honeyed whiskey liqueurs. Temptation passed. She carried her drink to a table beneath the fairy lights. A young girl and her mother approached. No seats left anywhere. "Is it okay if we sit here?" the mother asked. "Of course," said Lynn, smiling and beckoning the seats opposite. The girl, bright-eyed and confident, launched into chatter about school plays and Christmas lists, clutching her mug in mittened hands, the tip of her nose decorated with whipped cream and marshmallow. Her mother leaned in. "Claire, love, take your mittens off. You'll spill your hot chocolate." "I'm cold. The drink will warm your hands." With a huff, Claire tugged the mittens free. Lynn's eyes caught at once on the distinctive inward curve of her pinky finger. Clinodactyly. Lynn's mother had it. Emily had it. Lynn remembered the tiny hand of her newborn daughter, curled in just the same way. She hadn't meant to stare, but the girl noticed. She ducked her hands under the table. "Mum, can I go talk to Rose? She's by the cupcakes." "Stay where I can see you," her mother said. Claire skipped away. "I'm sorry," Lynn said quickly. "I didn't mean to make her self-conscious, it's just... I once knew a little girl with that same curve to her finger." The woman gave a small laugh. "It's all right. She's just oversensitive about it. I keep telling her it's nothing." "She's beautiful," said Lynn gently. "You must be very proud." "Oh, I am." They shook hands. "I'm Lynn." "Maggie." Lynn tilted her head. "The cute Pinky seems to have skipped you." Maggie nodded. "Yes, my mum had it. In her, it was very distinctive." Lynn's breath caught. "And is she..." "She passed away a few years ago," Maggie said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes glistened. "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that," said Lynn softly. Maggie wiped at her lashes. "Don't worry. It's just... today would have been her birthday. I always miss her most on this day." Something shifted in the air. Lynn felt the world narrow to a single point. She heard herself ask, though her voice trembled, what age would she have been today? 62, Maggie said. "Far too young." The words hung between them. Lynn sat silent, her heart hammering. The face across from her, the smile, the eyes, seemed suddenly familiar, like echoes of her own mother looking back. Maggie cleared her throat. "Well, it was lovely to meet you. I think Claire's had enough excitement for tonight." "Of course," Lynn managed. "Do you live in the Vale?" "Yes, just moved a few weeks ago. Mares Road, overlooking Morton Park. Claire starts school after the holidays." "That's wonderful," said Lynn. "Then we'll see each other again. Maybe at the next market?" Maggie smiled. "We'll definitely be back." She called her daughter, and hand in hand they slipped away into the stream of people heading toward Ranald Coop Road. Lynn remained at the table, her drink cooling in her hands. The facts were simple, undeniable. Yet the way life had turned, all its missed years, all its strange coincidences, left her both shaken and profoundly grateful for what had been, for what might be, and for what might yet come. The cold of the bench was winning its fight against the warmth of the hot chocolate. Time to go home, she thought. Lynn looked up as a soft, high-pitch buzzing filled the air. High above, a red light drifted across the night sky. A drone, perhaps, or a lantern. But to her, it looked like a star. And for the first time in years, she felt that someone, somewhere, had listened and perhaps answered a silent prayer. Part 2. Later that night, Tom was at home editing the timeline in his video. He had uploaded footage from his drone, mixing it with still images and adding festive music. He liked creating a record of events at the corner, and the Christmas market was one of his favourites. "Hey, Katie," he shouted, "come and see this." His wife approached and asked, "What is it?" "I'm making the video for the market. Have a look at this. It's weird." "What am I looking at?" "You see that woman sitting at that table?" he said, pointing. "Yes, what am I looking for?" "Do you see that she has some kind of glow around her? Like a whole body halo effect?" "Yes, it's a bit faint, but I see what you mean." "Watch what happens when the mum and her daughter approach and sit down." Katie patiently watched and said, "It looks like the glow was brighter, like it got stronger." "That's what I thought," said Tom. "But so what? It must be just some light effect the lens on the drone has picked up." "That's also what I thought, but keep watching." Katie could see that as the girl and her mum approached, the glow, or whatever it was, got stronger and started pulsating. Then, when she removed her mittens, it jumped from the woman to surround the little girl. Katie's hand flew to her mouth. "Wow! What was that? What happened there?" "I really don't know," said Tom, "but I've replayed it several times and it's in the captured footage. I thought at first it may be a bug in the editing software." "Did you notice that the glow didn't spread out to cover the woman and the girl? It doubled in size," said Katie. "It gets weirder," said Tom, pressing the play button again. Katie, now fascinated, fixes her attention on the screen. "Watch what happens when the girl walks over to meet her friend." Katie gasped. The glow separated in two and went with her. How strange is that? It's like something was passed from the woman to the girl. "Now look at this," said Tom. As Katie watched the glow split again and covered the girl's mum. Then, when the two of them exit, the glow stays with them. "What do you think it is?" asked Katie. "I've really no idea," said Tom, yawning. "But it isn't a technical glitch. Somehow the camera in the drone picked up a kind of energy. It started with the woman sitting down and seemed to jump first to the young girl and then to her mother. I don't think it is something that manifests itself physically." "What do you mean?" "Look at the people passing by. No one notices. Not even a glance, so it seems that we can see it on the video, but that it's invisible to the naked eye. I've never seen anything like it before. Maybe it's the ghost of Christmas yet to come." Katie laughed, held her hands out and looked up at Tom. "Or the ghost of past or present. It is a mystery for sure. And it will have to stay that way until tomorrow. It's late. You're tired. And I'm ordering you to come to bed." "Ordering me," said Tom, happy to join hands. "Yes," said Katie. "Talking about the present, I've got an early Christmas present for you." Tom tilted his head, smiled and said, "An early present? For me?" "Oh, yeah." "Do you want to unwrap it now?" said Katie. Tilting her head, she stretched and kissed her husband. Tom smiled and thought, this really is going to be the best Christmas present ever.